A long-standing conspiracy theory is what happened with like the Fort Knox gold, and
that's a good topic.
It's an interesting discussion, and I'm very happy that Elon and Trump have like been bringing it up. But if I think about the future and how this is going to go,
right?
Forgive me for being a little bit skeptical and cynical that we will get any massive revelations from it.
We'll get a PR event.
But we will get a PR event, and it will balkanize probably more support for these guys. But I think it might end up kind of like the Epstein situation.
That's another topic.
It might end up like the Hillary, you'll go to jail type of situation. You know, like
or we
have these rhetorics which are on the nose, like hell yeah, like I can get behind that, which it makes me suspicious when they don't always like materialize like I would hope, you know. So like I'm encouraged.
Rarely, if ever.
Hey, they're drafting plans to fire 90,000 IRS. Wake me up when they're fired.
Yeah, wake me up when the Federal Reserve is audited.
Yeah. Well, yeah, nice. That's the next step. Like I can look. I've waited long enough. I can accept, you know, just due to the red tape and everything involved and all the opposition, which there is legitimate opposition. They don't make legitimate arguments, but they are legitimately opposed in the sense that they're opposed. It can take some time, you know, like cool, but like let's get to that end state. Let's not just tinker at the edges and make some, you know, cuts here and there for the PR stunt. Like it does need to eventually. And so with the gold, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, you know, there have been rumors that massive shipments have been coming in, and we've been repatriating gold, but you know that still doesn't answer the question, because you're dealing with the rehypothecation of the assets, and who's where's the titles, you know. And like if you remember during, I think it was Hurricane Sandy, the DTCC, the Depository Trust Commission, got flooded, and all these like original deeds for massive tranches of real estate and this and probably gold as well was completely destroyed. And so yeah, maybe it's there for the PR event, or maybe it's not for the PR event.
Right.
Ultimately, the question still remains, what about the Fed? What about the world reserve currency? What about the actual true valuation of assets? Because as we were talking about earlier with the real estate and how the government has its hand in the false promotion of nominal valuations on real estate, you can extend that same kind of corruptive tentacle across every asset class.
I agree.
Including gold. And I'll never forget, it was a big moment in my awakening when Ron Paul was questioning Ben Bernanke on the role of gold in the financial system, and he couched it as like a ancient relic, this and that, you know. And he's like, what relation does it have to the dollar itself? And he's like, no real relation. He's like, well, then how come you guys all hold it? And Ben Bernanke was like, tradition. Mostly.
Tradition, mostly.
Like, okay, there is something very strange going on here. So,
well, and then also you brought up the Epstein stuff, and there was that whole like false feeding of the redacted documents, and I think that's a little bit of the canary in the coal mine for this entire administration.
Some of our earliest episodes were around the Finders and the Epstein,
the massive network that he's a part of, that he is absolutely
and
intelligence.
I actually have a talking point here for the show that written down you know, and I literally have written here, some of our earliest episodes dealt with the Epstein operation. It's just insane how many years have passed, so many suspicious twists and turns later, and the only perp who may have just been a fall person, Ghislaine, has been jailed or even identified.
Right.
Even identified. We've gotten flight logs here and there, but those people are all walking around like, you know.
There's no. I don't see
nobody's getting deposed.
I don't see any subpoenas or depositions or indictments or anything like this, even though it implicates huge swaths of the corporate, political, scientific, and academic elite. Major personas in all these fields. Okay? You don't think there's a conflict of interest in trying to suppress that information?
Right.
And, which is the administration that's continuing this gatekeeping operation? The same administration that came in, that was about to go out right as this stuff was being disclosed. Because it was the end of 2019, and then the whole cerveza virus putsch basically distracted from all these revelations. And then swiftly, Biden comes in and sweeps a lot of that under the rug. And now that towards the end of his administration, all this stuff started resurfacing with even bigger and wider implications. And now who's back in to hand wave it away? And
isn't it amazing it's been that many years?
Yeah, we've going on 6 years since we started, and that was August. A lot of the Epstein stuff was like July and August of 2019.
And remember, Greta Thunberg was big at that time. That was like right before the corona.
Yeah.
Right before. Because we had some episodes around climate and Epstein.
Yep.
And that was right before the corona thing really set in.
And then our mega singularities, we definitely talked about jabs being used as leverage for admittance into schools, and how we're like, well, this could actually become like a serious, and we had no idea that 3 months later it would go absolutely metastatic.
Right.
But we did mention that as like a point of concern at the beginning of 2020. It's like, this is the biomedical state kind of taking the gloves off here a little bit.
Yeah.
3 months later, it's like, oh my gosh, we are in a 3-year-long, unending big pharma commercial now.
Xavier's talking about our January 2020 episode, January 7th of 2020. We called it ZNN's Top 20 Mega Singularities of 2020. And we had 20 different kind of themes with various links to contemporary articles that formulated our kind of these are like the top issues to pay attention to going into 2020. And number 2 and number 1 really we talked about today. Number 1, disclosure of advanced Tesla energy and propulsion systems. Will it finally happen? And the first bullet on there was John G. Trump, who oversaw the alien property custodian office when Tesla died.
Trump's uncle.